Item Number SCP-1437 Object Class Safe Special Containment Procedures SCP-1437 is to be contained behind a perimeter of 2-meter-tall electrical fencing, which is to be patrolled by groups of 3 security officers at all times. Any trespassers attempting to access SCP-1437 are to be brought into custody, interrogated, and if found to be ignorant of SCP-1437's nature, dosed with a Class A amnestic and released. Any items or organisms which emerge from SCP-1437 are to be immediately tested for hazards, and if found safe, examined further. Experimentation involving SCP-1437 is strictly forbidden. Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring 3 meters by 3 meters, located in the Beep Desert. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock, where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as of yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including 1 U.S. quarter, first known object emergence. Large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by a parallel containment team to fill in their corresponding SCP-1437. A map of North America written in Spanish. According to said map, the government of North America is the People's Republic of New Waters. A photograph of a skyline believed to be radically altered version of New York's. Structures resembling coral are present, and a large flying organism can be seen in the distance. Several discs made from solid gold. Accompanying the disc was a sheet of paper reading, "Please send rain." During a period lasting from 2000 beep to 20 beep, numerous individuals, most of whom wore D-class uniforms, emerged from SCP-1437. All of them were dead on arrival. Note, it is theorized that the nature of SCP-1437 kills living organisms at the point at which crossover between universes is achieved. All emerging individuals carried documents which appear to be their respective universes' documentation on SCP-1437. It is currently believed that these D-class personnel and previously mentioned documentation was sent as a gesture of desired cooperation. Emerged Documentation 1437-1. Individual carrying documentation appeared to be in adequate physical condition. Individual was wearing a pressure suit with an attached oxygen supply. Item Number SCP-1437 Safety Rating Safe for Public. Safety Procedure: Unauthorized citizens are to be kept at a safe distance from SCP-1437 at all times. Any authorized tours of the area are to be accompanied by 2 security officers for their own protection. Taking of photographs is to be permitted. Any citizens attempting to go past safety fencing are to be arrested and handed over to local law enforcement. Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring 10 meters by 10 meters, located in the town of Promise. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock, where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as of yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including 1 small pyramid composed of concrete, first known object emergence believed to be a building material. Large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by a parallel safety team to fill in their corresponding SCP-1437, a landscape painting believed to be a location in Scotland. According to the painting, its originating universe's sun is blue and the sky yellow. Several discs made from solid gold. Accompanying the disc was a sheet of paper reading, "Please stop, Craig." A photograph of several scientists. All scientists pictured have unusually long fingers, estimated to be nearly 25 centimeters long. A sheet of paper reading, "Thank you, please send more gifts." During a period lasting from 2009 to 2012, numerous individuals, most of whom wore bright orange jumpsuits, emerged from SCP-1437, all of whom were dead on arrival. All emerging individuals carried documents which appeared to be their respective universes' documentation on SCP-1437. It is currently believed that these individuals and the documentation they are carrying was sent as a gesture of desired cooperation. On the 15th of August 2012, a volunteer from the Foundation, Marco Pun, entered SCP-1437 wearing safety gear, taking with him a copy of this document. Emerged Documentation 1437-2. Individual carrying documentation was in adequate physical condition. The phrase "property of SCP Corporation" was branded on the individual's left arm. Item designation: SCP-1437. Threat level: little. Special containment procedures: SCP-1437 is to be contained behind a perimeter of 2-meter-tall electrical fencing, which is to be patrolled by groups of 3 security officers at all times. Any trespassers attempting to access SCP-1437 are to be charged with the crime of industrial espionage. Any attempts or organisms which emerge from SCP-1437 are to be immediately tested for hazards and, if found safe, examined further. After examination, suitable items are to be auctioned off to interested collectors. Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring 1 meter by 1 meter, located in the deep outback. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as of yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including a statue of what is believed to be a reptilian entity sporting numerous eyes and tails, worst known object emergence. Large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by a parallel containment team to fill in their corresponding SCP-1437, a glass bottle of water, a human femur covered in saliva, a cube composed of several smaller cubes, all of which are different colors, purpose unknown, a soccer ball only has 5 sides. During a period lasting from 2000 beep to 20 beep, numerous individuals, most of which wore D-Class uniforms, emerged from SCP-1437, all of which were dead on arrival. The fact that it is apparently impossible to travel through SCP-1437 and survive has prevented the corporation from utilizing SCP-1437 for commercial purposes. All emerging individuals carry documents which appear to be their respective universes' documentation on SCP-1437. It is currently believed that these D-Class personnel and previously mentioned documentation were sent as a gesture of desired cooperation. Several D-Class personnel have been sent through SCP-1437 carrying copies of this document. Emerged Documentation 1437-3. Individual carrying documentation was wrapped in bandages and appeared to have been blinded in the recent past. Lacerations were present on the arms and legs, and the individual's tongue has been cut out. Object Class SCP-1437. Heathen Level. Unforgivable. Holding Measures. High Priest Beep is to bless the holding site of SCP-1437 every 2 years, and blood sacrifices are to be dropped into SCP-1437 after each blessing. Blood sacrifices are to hold copies of these scrolls as a warning to any demons to stay away. Spirits are to be consulted after these sacrifices, and suggested changes to holding measures are to be carried out immediately. Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring 3 meters by 3 meters located in the Beep Desert. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be a portal to the underworld. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including several discs made from solid gold, accompanying the disc with a sheet of paper reading, "Please kill foes." Large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by demons to harm the High Priest Beep, who was present at the holding site at the time. The broken remains of a human arm, covered in saliva. A photograph of a metal bird flying from a city. What appears to be a large mushroom is visible behind the bird, believed to be an attempt by demons at mocking us. A human eye which moved when touched, believed to be a lesser demon, was bent immediately. During a period lasting from 2000 beep to 20 beep, dead demons wearing the skins of men emerged from the pit. They were thrown back in immediately, and the site was to be blessed by High Priest Beep. Emerged Documentation 1437-4. Individual carrying documentation was a heavily emaciated pre-adolescent who appeared to have been lobotomized in the recent past. Item Number: SCP-1437. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-1437 is to be contained behind the perimeter of 2-meter-tall electrical fencing, which is to be patrolled by groups of 3 security officers at all times. Any trespassers attempting to access SCP-1437 are to be delivered to our masters above for enhanced interrogation. Any items or organisms which emerge from SCP-1437 are to be immediately tested for hazards, and if found, examined further. Any useful technology which emerges from SCP-1437 is to be delivered to our masters above immediately. Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring beat meters by beat meters located in Zone 29 of the Brazilian sector. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as of yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects believed to be gifts intended for our masters above has been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including 1 diamond, first known gift, delivered to our masters above. Large quantities of dirt and rocks, purpose unknown. Bark from the extinct Coccus buckwheat, delivered to our masters above. A lower half of the human body, delivered to supervising servant of our masters above. It is currently unknown how the gift sender was aware of the diet of our masters above. A document was sent into SCP-1437 thanking the gift giver for the object, and requesting further tributes to our masters above. A bottle of human-intended wine. See Incident 1437-1. Incident 1437-1. On Beep, a bottle of human-intended wine emerged from SCP-1437. Recognizing an assassination attempt upon members of our masters above, the supervising servant ordered that a dawn-burning explosive device be delivered down SCP-1437. Its orders were followed, and the threat appears to have been resolved. This is a reminder of why we must be vigilant in our containment procedures. From now on, I don't want any of these gifts being taken out of containment. They are a clear and present danger to our masters above. 051. Item SCP-1437 Tissue Test Record. Tissue sample fell down SCP-1437 without any incident. Termination Test Record. See log. 0 seconds. SCP-682 was incapacitated and thrown down SCP-1437. A provisional site was set up in case of re-emergence. 1 hour 3 minutes 23 seconds. A large glass object identified as SCP-682 was expelled from SCP-1437. High-speed surveillance cameras identified SCP-682 flailing its body despite its glass-like composition and partially filled with a red liquid presumed to be blood. As the object fell back down, it collided with the edge of SCP-1437, obliterating the front half as the rear end of the object continued to fall down SCP-1437. SCP-682 began rapidly regenerating from the shattered glass and splattered blood. The remaining SCP-682 matter was promptly pushed back down SCP-1437 using 3 on-site bulldozers. 4 hours, 16 minutes, 24 seconds. A hive composed of an organic material with black and orange coloration, identified as SCP-682, slowly emerged from SCP-1437, being carried by large flying insects. Also identified as SCP-682. SCP-682's hive resembled an animal of the genus alligator and covered in holes of varying diameters. The insects carrying the hive resembled those of the genus Musca and had sharpened forelimbs, vertebratic eyes instead of compound eyes, and a set of mandibles composed of enamel. The size of the SCP-682 insects corresponded to the size of the holes. SCP-682 quickly began attacking on-site personnel and gathering resources from the surrounding area. Foundation materials in the environment. Resources brought into the hive caused it to grow in size and show signs of movement. Close-range combat with SCP-682 was complicated by a second type of insect resembling the genus Scutigera. Emerging from the hive, these insects had no visible eyes, and were not observed to fully exit the hive, only extending up to 2.5 meters away from it. SCP-682 began overpowering on-site personnel until the insects carrying the hive were fired upon and destroyed. The second insect grabbed onto the edge of SCP-1437 before SCP-682 fell down. 5 on-site bulldozers were used to force SCP-682 down SCP-1437. The remaining SCP-682 insects either followed the hive into SCP-1437 or were incapacitated by personnel. 13 hours, 12 minutes, and 7 seconds. A round mechanical device identified as SCP-682 was expelled from SCP-1437. Shortly after landing, several vents opened on the object and began releasing a corrosive gas. SCP-682 split open, starting from the top, revealing a mouth of jagged, gold-colored teeth. SCP-682 began shouting obscenities as tubes and pipes emerged from it, piercing and converting the ground into titanium. An on-site bulldozer quickly pushed the object back down SCP-1437 before melting. The corrosive gas dissipated after 20 minutes. 19 hours, 7 minutes, and 48 seconds. A 20-meter tall pillar of plasma identified as an appendage of SCP-682 erupted from SCP-1437. The pillar took on the appearance of a reptilian limb and destroyed the surrounding provisional site, which was observed from Area Beep. SCP-682's appendage withdrew back into SCP-1437. 27 hours, 20 minutes. SCP-682 was expelled from SCP-1437. The object's appearance was more in line with its baseline state, aside from having a bulkier body and shorter snout. Embedded throughout SCP-682's body were various spears, swords, and other types of weapons. SCP-682 was promptly returned to containment.